So, some of you know, I don't just play games, I don't just do funny videos, I don't just do animation, I don't just watch anime and all that. I'm also a dancer. Started off dancing like 4 years ago. 4 years ago in college, I used to play, I used to play a lot of rhythm games, DDR. That was the first one of the first ones I started off playing. And then my friend from college must have saw me playing DDR one time. And at the time we was kind of young and we wasn't as smart as we are now. So he thought that because I played DDR, you know, I'd be a good dancer, I'd be good at learning dance in the studio. And I was like, nah man, you know, it's not the same, innit? Like I'm cool just doing what I'm doing here. But he convinced me, and then I went to the class, and then the class was pretty terrible, but at the time we thought it was great. But I enjoyed it, I thought it was dope, and from there on I just kept on dancing. So, but time has passed, and things happened, things changed, found new interests, lost interest in old interests, and right now I'm focusing on house dance. I'm sure if you don't know what house dance is, then I'm just gonna assume you do know what it is. If you don't, then watching this little series that I'm gonna do is gonna teach you about it, learn about it, find interest in it and all that stuff. So especially if you're from London, if you're in the UK scene, this might be good for you to check out as well, because it's sort of gonna be me, someone who is pretty much a beginner to house dance. I'm gonna be chronicling my journey through the house dance scene, through the battles I enter, through the training, through the injuries, all the way down to the, you know, times when you feel that, you know, you just can't compete no more, or you're not good enough, or you're not improving, and all that jazz. But when I was dancing, I actually did take a lot of house classes in the facility that I used to train with, or the classes that I used to take. They used to train us in lots of different styles, and house is one of them. Around the time, my early years of dancers, locking was my favourite style. I still do enjoy locking a lot, but I'm focusing on the house, and I wanna get that down first before I go back to locking, because I actually do want to go back to locking and get really good at it, because now I've just gone terrible and rusty. So yeah, I used to take a lot of house classes, but I didn't. It was only just class. You know, I was only doing house for the duration of the time I was in the class. As soon as the class was finished, I wasn't practicing any steps because I wasn't that interested in house. And actually at the time, I mean, I was terrible. I remember what I used to think, that you couldn't do house if you was tall. Yeah, I honestly thought that. Like, I'm 6'2", 6'2", 6'3", and I remember the person who was teaching us, I think it was Clara. I think one of the first house classes I took was one of Clara's classes. Yeah, and she's like, I don't know, 4 foot nothing. So she's really small, and she was there teaching us, you know, teaching us how to jack and stuff like that, teaching us the foundations. And I was having trouble just doing the jack. Like, I thought, you know, and because she's so tiny and doing it so easily, I used to think that, you know, just because she's small, she has a shorter amount of time for her knees to bounce and for her to come back up, and all this crazy stuff. So I thought she had some disadvantage, and I thought I had a disadvantage because I was tall. So fast forward to today, or recently, I just sort of decided to do my own thing and not taking classes as much. Although classes are good, you know, I'm not saying they're not good, but there always comes a time in our lives as a dancer when we ain't got as much money, or we have to prioritize what's important, or more important at that point in time. You know, so there's always comes a time where we feel like, you know, just not taking classes for a bit, or just training by ourselves, or training with friends. And that's what happened to me, basically. And what helped as well is that for those who aren't from London and are watching, London has this big arcade called the Trocadero, which is basically, yeah, a huge arcade with lots of games, fighting games, rhythm games, shooting games, and all of that. It's pretty much the biggest arcade, probably, I think it's the biggest arcade in the whole of the UK. So, yeah, and basically in that place, they recently opened the underground path. They opened it out so that the dancers can just train there, you know, and just go in, plug in their speakers, and just train and stuff. So basically what I'm going to be doing is like just sort of, give you a time frame. time frame is I've been doing this whole focusing on house in order to, you know, just because I really enjoy it and just trying to compete just for fun and meeting new people and all that. I've been doing that for only 4 or 5 months. 4 months, I'd say, yeah, 4 months. So it's a very short amount of time. Yes, it's quite a short time. So yeah, I've been doing that for 4 months and I've improved quite a lot. I'm not as much happy with my improvement as I am with my dedication and discipline, because I mean, I know who I am, I know myself, and I know, you know, my strengths and weaknesses, and I know discipline, self-discipline is not one of my strongest features. Like a lot of the time, if I say I'm gonna do this every Monday, I'm gonna do this every Thursday, a lot of the time, like I would always, after the first week or second week, I'll just slack off and not do whatever it is I said that I would do on those certain days. So, but I started, you know, with the trip. I can't remember exactly when I started, but basically there was a battle that was gonna happen in, I think it was in October, and I found out about it like a month before the event started. So, and I wanted to enter the hip hop and the house segment of the battle. So I was just training, and I think I said to myself I'll train at least once a week on a certain day, and I did that all the way from when I said I would, all the way up to the battle and beyond. So the battle went terrible. it was foul. Like if I find that, I need to flag that video on YouTube, so, and just say that it's some paedophile video or something, because I just don't want it there no more. First battle was against Kashmir, Dance Geek Lease. I'm sure you'll be seeing him in these videos, so, or you might already know who he is. And he raped my bum. So yeah, that was terrible. And then the hip hop segment was terrible as well. But yeah, what happened was the house was the first event, and then hip hop was the last, I think. And so say, I can't remember the exact timing of the event, but if you imagine that house started at 4 o'clock and then the hip hop battle started at 8 o'clock. So if you wasn't competing in between, you had a long cool down, a long wait. And then when around the house time, I was excited. there was blood pumping through my body. I was ready. And then because there was a long interval, my body just went to sleep. My mind was forcing me to stay awake and just do it, because I wanted to do it, even though I know I wouldn't even get through the prelims. I just wanted to at least go in there, do my best, say that I did it, and so forth. But my body was just saying, nope, you shouldn't be dancing. You need to go home. You need to go home, watch anime. That's what you need to do. And that's what happened. My body just did not listen to me. I got up, they called my name, my shoelace was undone. I don't know what I was doing. If there's any video of that, I'm gonna flag it, and I'm gonna hack the YouTube account and just, like, you know, just delete it. So, yeah, basically, so let me, if I haven't explained that already, what we're gonna be doing here is, you know, following me and the house community in London. So I'm gonna be getting a lot of footage of us training together, trying to spread the love of house, trying to record as much battles, trying to enter as much battles. My next battle is going to be in March. I can't remember the name of the event, but I'm sure I'll put it in the video. But it's going to be in March. I think it's only around 8 or 10 house dancers, and I think I know a few of them, so I don't have that fear of, oh, who am I going to go up against, and all that stuff. So the most recent thing that's going to be going down is, yeah, pretty much a great time to start, you know, doing this, because Kashmir Lease is basically going to be bringing down Iron Cox on Saturday, 22nd of January, and he's going to be teaching a class here, which is cool, because the UK doesn't have enough house dancers that are, house teachers, sorry, that are willing to share outside of classes. Or maybe it's not, I guess it's not fair to say that they're not willing to share, but because they are so busy, because they are well-known, well-renowned teachers, You know, they do classes in a lot of different places, not just the UK. They don't have enough time to just, you know, hang out at these social or places like Trocadero and just, you know, jam and then just answer questions to anyone who wants to know, you know, how can I make my dolphin better, or what is a better way to get into it, or can you teach me the steps, show me some variations, just stuff like that. So that, like, there's not enough of that, and if there was more well-known house teachers, then maybe we'd get more, because there's always going to be the studio and then there's always going to be the underground, and it's best to get the best of both worlds in my opinion. But a lot of the teachers only jam in the studio. There are times you see them in other places, in club events and all that stuff, but then, you know, it's unlikely you're gonna get to talk to them face to face, just you and them, you know, have some downtime and be like, can you show me how to do this? Whereas in the underground, they're there, it's social, it's friendly, it's house, the feeling, share the love, just get down and house basically. And you know, they just, like, sometimes you don't even need to ask, you know, you just see them doing what they do, see them training, then you might try and do something that they did, and then they'll probably come up to you and say, oh, it's done like this and whatever and so forth. So Byron Cox is coming down, and so that's going to be good. I'm going to be going into that class, so I'll probably bring Mr. Camera here and record the class, record some footage, ask him, and I'm going to try my best to get an interview. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to ask him yet, but yeah, I'm going to get an interview somehow. Probably going to write down at least 10 questions, 10 really good questions. I'm not going to ask him no trivial, dry questions. I'm going to ask him some interesting stuff. So that's gonna be it. That's just part 1 of my house dance journey, my house dance quest, my path into battling Mamson, battling Mamson in the final of some SDK, you know, battle or whatever. That would be cool. I need to talk about when I met him actually at House Dance UK, because I've never been starstruck in my life, and I know I shouldn't be because he's not exactly famous in that regard, but like, you know, because when I first started looking for house dance videos on YouTube, all I saw was Mamson. That's all I knew. I didn't even know he had a team, or, you know, he had like a crew where all their surnames, all their second half of their names ends with son, S-O-N. Yeah, I just knew Mamson, and then when I met him, and he just came out of nowhere. I heard he was going to be at House Dance UK, so I was like, oh man, you know. And then I met him in Nando's when I was with the guys, and then it was like, oh my, you know, it was crazy. So yeah, so thanks for watching, and keep coming back, because you're gonna see a lot of stuff. You're gonna see a lot of interesting things, a lot of battles, a lot of defeats, hopefully a lot of victories, but most importantly, lots and lots of sharing and growth together as one in house. So cool, I'll see you guys soon. Come back and practice those foundations, because if you don't, it's gonna be